Session we concluded with the different device ratings which are used for power devices, and we had discussed the alphabetic nomenclature which is used for indicating the different ratings. So this was the alphabetic nomenclature, wherein what is important is this thing, that to understand the difference between how a conducting and a non-conducting device is indicated. So understand one thing, that the alphabet capital D is used for off state even if it is forward biased. What the point? And T is used for forward bias but conducting state, so on state. So this thing should be very clear. Okay, here. So based on this alphabetic nomenclature which is used for indicating the device ratings, then we can go on to define what these 21 ratings actually mean, right? That is what we start with today. So starting from here, ID. So naturally I means current, so it is some current rating, and because it is D, it is off state. So when I say ID, it actually means it is forward bias off state current. Okay. So it is forward biased off state current. IF would mean forward current. VF will mean forward voltage. These are all very simple ratings, but they will become more complex once we proceed. So IT AVG, again I means current and T means forward, so it is actually average on state current. So AVG stands for average, so this is average on state current rating. IT RMS, as before, it is RMS on state current. Yeah, so now the ratings will become little complicated. Now there are three letters now, IFGM. Understand, M means maximum, and G means gate, and F means S. Yeah, it is IFGM. It is maximum forward gate current. Okay, so understand this thing, that this refers to maximum, so it is, you always read the alphabets from right to left, okay, like this. So first we'll read M for maximum, G for gate, and F for forward. So it is maximum gate current. Now we cannot say forward current because you cannot push a reverse current through the gate. So gate is a unidirectional terminal, that is why current can only flow inside the gate, it cannot come outside the gate. That is why IFGM means M for max, G for gate, and F means it's forward only, but it is only current only. Okay. So now we have FRM. So it is maximum repetitive forward current. Again, as I told you that you should always read the alphabets from right to left. So it is maximum repetitive. Current. Okay. So IFSM, again as I said, you have to always read it from right to left. So M for max, S for surge, maximum surge current. IGT, I for current, T for threshold, and G for gate. So this is gate threshold current. IGT stands for gate threshold current. Okay, always read the alphabets from right to left. T for threshold and G for gate. IR will definitely mean reverse current, as in a diode. RRM, so we are told that the alphabet R can be used once and twice. So the first will mean reverse and second will mean repetitive. So RRM, again read it from right to left. M for max, R for reverse, and R for repetitive. So it is maximum reverse repetitive. ITSM, ITSM will mean maximum surge forward current. Again read it like this. So it is max, M for max, S for surge, maximum surge on state current. Okay, M for max, S for surge, and T for on state forward current. VDRM, maximum reverse off state. So again right to left, it is maximum reverse off state. Why off state? Because the alphabet D is used. Okay, so because it is D, it becomes off state here. Okay, RRM, as usual, again right to left, maximum reverse repetitive. Okay, again, so maximum reverse repetitive, RRM. VGT, as usual, V for voltage, T for threshold, and G for gate. So it is the gate threshold voltage. VBO, VBR, naturally it is breakover voltage. And BR stands for reverse breakdown voltage. RGM. So RGM, M for max, G for gate, and R for reverse. Okay, again starting from right to left. M for max, maximum, G for gate, maximum gate, R for reverse voltage. PG, AVG, P for power, G for gate, and AVG for average. Straightforward definition, it refers to maximum average power dissipation at gate. Okay, so we have covered 18 ratings. I square T rating is a very special rating, which I will be narrating soon. And du by dt, it refers to maximum rate of change of anode voltage with respect to cathode to ensure no false triggering. Okay, so dV by dt rating refers to maximum rate of change of anode voltage with respect to cathode to ensure no false triggering. Okay, this is called as a dV by dt rating, also called as slew rate. And di by dt rating and du by dt rating I will narrate to you now. Okay, these are two new ratings. I square T ratings. Now students, please understand one thing, that if I want to protect any power device from overcurrent, that is if I want to protect the power device from getting damaged if the current greater than its current rating flows through it. Okay, so for example we can say, consider the SCR TYN612. Now we know very well that the IT AVG rating of this device is equal to 8 ampere and the IT RMS rating of this device is equal to 12 amperes. Okay, that means a maximum DC current which can flow through this device 8 amperes. So I can say a maximum 8 amperes DC current can flow through this device. Similarly, 12 amperes indicates that maximum 12 ampere RMS current can flow. Okay, so if you want, we can put it in little different way. So I can say the maximum DC current which can flow through this SCR is 8 amperes and maximum RMS current is 12 amperes. Okay, now this is my SCR in some circuit. It may be AC or DC circuit, and assume that I am using an appropriate pulse triggering, and here either I can have E in, it can either be AC or it can be DC, and this is my load resistor RL. This is the current flowing through the device IA. Now I know that if I am applying an AC signal as E in, then the maximum value which is permissible is 8 amperes, sorry 12 amperes if it is AC, okay, and it is equal to 8 amperes if it is DC. Now if I want to protect this SCR, because SCR is a costly component, what I do is that I will connect a fuse in between the supply E in and the SCR. This circuit, if it has to incorporate SCR protection, has to be redrawn in this way. So I will have the supply E in here and I will have a fuse here, and then I will have my SCR which will be having pulse kind of gate triggering. This is RL. So this is fuse, as you know. So this particular fuse must be a fast acting fuse so that it will blow off before the SCR gets damaged. Okay, that is why we say I square T rating. I square T rating is defined in this way. It is the maximum allowable non-recurring value of the square of instantaneous current integrated with respect to time. Okay, so it is the maximum allowable non-recurring value of the square of instantaneous current integrated with respect to time. So mathematically it is denoted like that. Okay, denoted as integration of I square of t dt 0 to t. Okay, so it is the square of instantaneous current I square, and it is integrated with respect to time. Okay, so it is integrated with respect to time. Okay, like that. What is the significance of this rating? So it is here. This is the connection between this rating and the fast acting fuse. Now this rating is required to coordinate with the fast acting fuse used for protecting the SCR during an overload condition. Okay, students, please understand that in the field of electronics the word load actually means current. Always understand this thing. In the field of electronics, load actually means current. So when I say no load condition, that means there is no current drawn from the supply. And when I say full load condition, it means the maximum allowable current is being drawn from the voltage source or the voltage supply. Getting means the overload condition or overcurrent condition is same, but we should understand that in the field of electronics, the word load actually means current. So this rating is required to coordinate with the fast acting fuse used for protecting the SCR during an overload condition. Okay. Another important point is this rating is a measure of the thermal energy which an SCR can absorb for a short time before the fault is cleared by the fuse. Before the fault is cleared by the fuse. Okay, so this rating is a measure of thermal energy which an SCR can absorb for a short time before the fault is cleared by the fuse. Okay, this rating is usually specified for fault currents lasting for less than or equal to 1/2 of the period of supply frequency. 1/2 of the period of supply. Okay, so we know that the supply frequency, or we can say F mains in India, is 50 hertz. Hence the period of mains is equal to 1/50 hertz is equal to 20 milliseconds. That means we can say that fault currents which last for a time duration less than equal to 10 milliseconds is covered by this rating. So we can say here that 1/2 of 20 milliseconds, that means 10 milliseconds. Okay, now we come to the next rating, that is di by dt rating. Yeah, so it's very clear that it is an I square T rating. The unit will be ampere square into second. Naturally, the unit will be I square multiplied by T. So it will be ampere square into second. So we can say that the unit of this rating is ampere square into second. Okay, now let us see what is the datasheet rating of TYN 612. So this is the datasheet of TYN 612, and we can see our I square T rating here. It's very clear. It is written here. It is 60 to 98 ampere square second. Okay, approximately 100. Okay, so typical values are like 100 ampere square second. So we can write here for TYN 612, the I square T rating is approximately 100 ampere square into second. Okay, now we go to the next important rating called as di by dt rating, and then we will also see from the data sheet what are the data sheet values of this rating for our standard SCR. It indicates a maximum rate of rise of anode to cathode current. Okay, so this rating indicates the maximum rate of rise of anode to cathode current. Okay, so this rating indicates the maximum rate of rise of anode to cathode current. So we can say that this rating is also called as DIA by dt rating. Okay, so why is this rating important? It's important because of these reasons. If the rate of rise of anode current, if the rate of rise of anode current is greater than the spreading velocity of charge carriers, okay, if the rate of rise of anode current is greater than the spreading velocity of charge carriers across the junction, across the junctions, the device current IA gets localized to a particular area in a device. Area of the device, and this particular concept is called as formation of local hotspots. Okay, so if the rate of rise of anode current is greater than the spreading velocity of charge carriers, then IA gets localized to a particular area of the device, leading to local hotspots. Okay, leading to formation of local hotspots. Okay, local hotspots. Okay, due to high current density, due to high current density, the above phenomenon leads to increase in the junction temperature beyond the safe limit, thereby destroying the device. Okay, so the above phenomenon leads to increase in junction temperature beyond safe limit, thereby destroying the device. Okay, now we will see what is the typical di by dt rating for our SCR. We can see here di by dt rating is given as 50 ampere per microsecond. Okay, so we make a point here. Di by dt rating of TWAN 612 is 50 ampere per microsecond. Okay, as I told you that even the dV by dt rating also was mentioned like this. It was 5 volt per microsecond. So you can imagine if I want to convert microseconds into seconds, then I have to do 50 ampere per microsecond, which is equal to 50 amperes upon 10 raised to minus 6 seconds, which comes out to be 50 into 10 raised to 6 ampere per second. It is huge. That means I can allow the anode current to change by a amount of 50 million amperes in 1 second. And imagine this is almost equal to 50 followed by 6 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so many amperes per second. This is sufficient. I do not think so that any electrical supply will be able to generate this kind of a surge across an SCR. So SCR, even the basic SCR happens to be a very powerful device which has tremendous capacity to tolerate very high values of change in the current per unit change in time. Okay, it's actually huge. Okay, and the data sheets say that more powerful SCRs, they have di by dt ratings of up to 800 ampere per second. So we say that this is the basic SCR. So TWAN 612 is called as a basic SCR. So even the weakest SCR also has a di by dt rating of 50 ampere per microsecond. So this is the most basic SCR. Okay, that is why we make a note here that SCRs with di by dt equal to 800 amperes per microsecond are also available commercially, are also available commercially. Got the point? So this was an explanation about all different ratings which we said. So we can say this is fuse rating. This is fuse rating, which is used for SCR protection, and di by dt rating is nothing but it is rate of maximum. Rate of change of device current IA. So we have covered 21 different ratings. I don't think so you need any more explanation than this. Okay. Now we go to the type 4 of numericals which are asked in the exam, something like this. So these are typical numericals which are also asked in the exam sometimes. Okay. This is numerical type 4, and just see how I solve this numerical, and based on that I'll give you two numericals for practice at home. Numericals type 4. For an SCR, the gate cathode characteristics has a straight line slope of 130. For a trigger voltage of 15 volts at gate with allowable gate power dissipation of 0.5 watt, compute the gate source resistance. Compute the gate source resistance. Okay, so I'll read this numerical again. It says, for an SCR, the gate cathode characteristics has a straight line slope of 130. For a trigger voltage of 15 volt at gate with allowable gate power dissipation of 0.5 watt, compute the gate source resistance. This is a very typical numerical, and there is a standard way of solving these numericals. I will tell you how to solve them. Now, let us highlight the important values which are given here. First is straight line slope of 130. This is the first statistics which is given. Second is given trigger voltage of 15 volts at gate, and third which is given is the allowable gate power dissipation of 0.5 watt. Let us now put them in proper terms. Okay, so we can say given PG max equal to 0.5 watt, trigger voltage of 15 volt at the gate. So actually this actually refers to EG equal to 15 volt, and straight line slope of 130. Now for understanding what is this slope 130 and what significance it has, we have to actually draw two things. We have to draw the gate characteristics, and we have to also draw the gate circuit. Okay, so first thing is this. Okay, gate characteristics. So gate characteristics is nothing but it is gate voltage versus gate current. So it is drawn like this. So this is my gate voltage, this is my gate current. It is Ig, it is Vg versus Ig. And second is the gate circuit. Okay, so for solving these kind of numericals, you basically need these two things. One is the gate characteristics, that is Vg versus Ig, and gate circuit. Now see, gate circuit is very simple. The gate circuit is basically like this. So we have the SCR here, and we are going to draw only the control circuit here. And this is my gate terminal. Okay, gate, anode, and cathode. And you can have any kind of a circuit here. It can either be a DC circuit or it can be AC circuit here. Okay, and here I am having one source EG, and I am having what is called as source resistance here. Yeah, so I have the source resistance here. Sorry. RG. Okay, students, please note that this is called as VG and this is called as EG. So difference is this thing. So this is my gate voltage VG and this is my gate current. Okay, so understand these things. In the gate circuit, this is my gate trigger voltage EG. This is my gate to cathode potential VG, and this is my gate current Ig, and this is the gate resistance Rg. Now here it is given that straight line slope of 130. So all of you know that we have that coordinate geometry equation y is equal to mx plus c. Okay, so we have y equal to slope into x plus c. So in our case, the y-axis has the gate voltage, so Vg is equal to slope m into x is my gate current, so Ig, and plus it is a straight line slope, so c is equal to 0. So basically it is like this: straight line slope 130 and passing through origin. So m equal to 130 and my c equal to 0. So straight line slope of 130 actually means Vg is equal to 130 times Ig. Okay, understand this thing, it's very important, students. So understand this. So my straight line slope is 130. On y-axis I have the gate voltage Vg. On x-axis I have my gate current Ig. So I get the equation Vg equal to 130 Ig. So let us say that this is my relationship 1, this is my relationship 2, and this is my relationship 3. Now seeing this particular circuit here, okay, this much, if I see this much circuit here, I can say from my basic network knowledge that my EG is equal to Vg plus Ig into Rg. Okay, so let me say that this is my relationship number 4. Okay, so this is my relationship number 4. Now we can start using the relationships 1, 2, 3 and 4 here. Okay, so students, from equation number 1, my Pg is equal to 0.5 watt, which is also equal to Vg into Ig. It's very simple. Power is equal to voltage into current. So gate power is equal to gate voltage into gate current. So my Pg is equal to 0.5 watt, but it is also equal to Vg into Ig. Now from equation number 3, I can say my Pg is equal to Vg into Ig. Now Vg is equal to 130 times Ig. So replace Vg with equation number 3. 130 times Ig into Ig is equal to 0.5. So very simple. I have 130 times Ig square equal to 0.5, and so I can have Ig is equal to under root of 0.5 upon 130, which comes out to be approximately 62 milliamperes. Okay, so I have found the value of current using equation number 1 and equation number 3. Okay, now here from equation number 4, I know that Eg is equal to Vg plus IgRg, but I know that Eg is equal to 15 volts, so I have 15 equal to Vg plus Ig into Rg. Okay, now I can substitute the value of Ig equal to 62 milliamperes in equation number 3. So from here I can write down, from here my Vg is equal to 130 into 62 milliamperes. So let me first check if 62 is exactly what we need. (62 milliamperes). So 130 into 62 milliamperes is equal to 8.06 volt. So here is equal to 8.006 volt. Okay, so is equal to 8.06 plus 62 milliamperes into Rg. So I can say therefore my Rg is equal to 15 minus 8.06 upon 62 milliamperes, which comes out to be 111.94. Okay, so we have got gate source resistance is equal to 94 ohms. Fine. Yes. So this is how you solve numericals like this. Equation number 1, the gate power dissipation equal to 0.5 watt. The trigger voltage, that is a gate voltage Eg equal to 15 volts. So understand that this particular term Eg, actually it appears here. Okay, and in gate characteristics it is Vg versus Ig. Vg on y-axis, Ig on x-axis, and what is given is that the slope is 130 and it is passing through origin. So as per the equation y is equal to mx plus c is 0, we get Vg equal to 130 times Ig because slope is 130. And here by using the value of gate participation and the relationship that gate power Pg, the gate power Pg is equal to Vg into Ig, and substituting Vg equal to 130 Ig here, I get Ig equal to 62 milliamperes. Then I will put this value of 62 milliamperes into this equation number 3, and I get Vg equal to 130, the slope, into 62 milliamperes is equal to 8.06 volts. Then I go to equation number 4, that is Eg equal to Vg plus IgRg. I solve this. I put Eg as 15 volts and I will substitute Ig as 62 milliamperes and Vg as 8.06 volt, and I calculate the value of Rg as 111.94. If you have understood this numerical, then I have one more numerical for you as homework, which you will take tomorrow. If the VGIG characteristics of an SCR are a straight line passing through origin with a gradient of 3000, calculate the value of Rg if Eg equal to 10 volts and Pg equal to 10 milliwatt. Okay. Fine. And the key is the answer to this numerical is Rg comes out to be 2 kilo ohms. Okay.